Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Strong Draws. My name is Brett Strong, and today we're continuing the inking on page 8 of Light Earth, and this will be the final video. This will be the finished page today. So, again, like I've said in all the other videos, if you like what you see, want to see more Light Earth and more of my work, head over to the Light Earth Facebook page and or the No Gravity Studios Facebook page and hit them up to get your copies of issues 1 through 2 right now, or 0, 1, and 2 right now. So links are in the description along with my Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff. So go hit them up, give them a like, and like I said, if you want to get hooked up with some of the issues, they will be able to do that for you. So one thing I kind of want to get out of the way real quick here right up front, as I mentioned in my last video that I was going to be running a special commission offer for the month of November, and kind of what that's going to be is throughout the month I'm going to do commissions for $25, and that will be an 11 by 17 digital drawing with up to 3 characters with background and full color if you so desire for me to color it, and all that will be for $25. So if you have a comic you're working on that you'd like an alternate cover or a pin-up, or we got, it's November, so Christmas is really close, so if you're looking for a good Christmas gift for that special comic book fan in your life, hit me up. I can do these commissions real cheap for you this month. So again, it's going to be first come, first serve. So the sooner you get to me or hit me up, the sooner you will get your artwork. Also, I do have one blank sketch cover of All-Star Batman #1, which I will also be doing for $25. Right now I haven't started it at all, so if there's a specific character or characters you want on the cover, if you're interested, then that, again, like I said, will be $25. Again, I only have one, so again, that is very much first come, first serve. So, but that one will only be black and white. I don't have any means to color a actual sketch cover. So again, if you're interested, you can either hit me up here on YouTube or on Facebook or Twitter. Just send me a message and you can get the details worked out, and I can get to work on that for you guys. So again, that's running all through November, so it starts today and we'll go obviously to November, 30th, 31st, however many days are in November, and then it'll be done. And I'm, like I said, if you're looking for Christmas gifts, I'm hoping to have them all out, depending on the volume of them. We'll see how many requests I get or jobs I get here. Hopefully to have them all out by the end of December. So yeah. Anyhow, that's kind of all the business talk I kind of wanted to cover right there. So anyway, like I said, we're back to inking Light Earth, page 8. Page turned out pretty good overall, I feel. The fun thing about doing comics is you get, since just the amount of volume that you're required to put out, you tend to get better faster, I think. Because you have to draw these things over and over again, and you have to draw them in new and interesting ways, or at least you should try to draw them in new and interesting ways, if not necessarily for the medium, but for yourself. There's always different things, there's poses I don't always get to draw all the time, so when I do comics, I get to try some new stuff. So if there's a lot of people, and not a lot, but I've had some people come to me on Facebook or in real life here and there to ask me, how do I get better? Can you give me any tips? And the best thing I can tell everybody is to draw comic book pages. Generally the people coming to me want to do comic book art. So that's kind of my biggest suggestion, recommendation is because, again, I, if I didn't draw comics, I'm not sure, to be honest, I would still be drawing, because like drawing portraits bore the crap out of me. Um, Drawing pinups can be fun, but they get kind of boring to a certain extent, at least for me. I know there's some artists that just love doing that, and that's all they want to do, and that's more power to you. But for me, if I'm not drawing a page or a story to where I have to be more creative as how to tell that story, or how to, put people in different poses or different angles, it's not stuff I tend to draw in pinups too much. I don't know why that is. I think when I'm sitting down to draw um, pinups or whatever, it's just like, for instance, I recently did a Supergirl uh, commission, and it was for a young girl. I think she's 6 or 7, somewhere in there, maybe 8, in that younger age range. And she's a big, and she's really getting into these comics things right now. So I was asked by her mom to do a Supergirl, and since it's a young um, fan, I didn't. There's certain things, I guess, like if I'm drawing Superman or Supergirl in this instance for somebody really young, just from my experience of being that age and being, exposed to the movies and the artwork as much, if I wanted a poster or a pinup, I wanted to see the emblem, the shield, the S on their chest or something. So when I drew that pinup, it was just kind of her floating in midair. It wasn't a crazy angle. It wasn't any action. It wasn't nothing, because I wanted mainly to highlight the fact that there's that emblem on her chest, that crest of the House L kind of thing sitting right there, and that and since all these characters have that emblem on their chest, it seems like that's the thing that needs. I don't know. And again, that's it. It might just be me, but I feel like especially kids want to see that, because when I was that age, that was a big thing for me. That crest on their, or their logo, their emblem, their shield, whatever you want to call it, for whatever hero, whether it be the Flash or Green Lantern or so on and so forth. So generally, when I do pinups, and depending on who it is or what the client wants, it's the emblem is a big thing for me to show if I'm doing superheroes. So kind of my point is like, you can only draw those characters in so many positions before you don't see that emblem just from perspective or angle or whatever. So I get kind of bored with doing pinups unless someone wants, um, an action shot of some sort within the pinup. So, like I said, if it wasn't for doing comic pages, I probably wouldn't draw as much, if at all, anymore, because it just gets boring after a while, drawing the same poses over and over again. At least for me. But with comics, I would never had an opportunity for, or never would have thought to draw some guy tackling another guy like this, just sitting around sketching, or I can't think of a reason to do it in a pinup of any couple characters, again, unless requested. So by drawing pages, you get to do all kinds of new and interesting stuff that I don't think most people would generally think of doing for fun or for a pinup, or to kind of flaunt what they got, so to speak, because that's what pinups are to me. They're cheesecake shots to just make, or just to be able to show what you can do as cool as you can do it. And like I said, the guy getting tackled like this, as fun as it is to draw and as kind of cool as it looks, I just don't think it would make a good pinup image because it's not really a cheesecake shot, and it's just a storytelling device in this instance. So you want to get better at drawing people, drawing anatomy, draw comic pages, and they're going to be terrible when you start out. There's no two ways around that, because until you've done several pages or several hundred pages, it's not gonna gel quite right in the beginning, because you're new at it, and everything takes practice. So I was actually today showing someone my very first comic book I ever did, and I mean, as far as quote unquote legit comic, it was penciled and inked and colored and lettered and printed, and it was a book. And I look at the thing, and there's some stuff in there I still really like. And I mean, I was 23, 24 when I completed that first issue. And I look at it now, and again, there's stuff I like, but there's stuff that just really makes me cringe, and stuff that I look at and be like, well, I should have done this instead of this. And so it's just, and the anatomy is all kind of goofy, and it just, again, it takes time. It takes time, it takes practice, and it takes dedication and a certain sense of, how's the phrase go? Reasonable deniability, I think, is the term I'm looking for. Because comics is a tough business to get into, and there's a certain part of your brain at every step of the way, whether you love what you do, whether you think your work is really, really good or really, really crap, that there's got to be a part of your brain that says, I'm good enough to do this professionally. And whether you get people questioning you, whether you think you're good enough, it just, I think that's kind of what separates the successful, quote-unquote successful professional artists from the people that don't really make it, is because with this sense of reasonable deniability, no matter what obstacles you come up against, there's a part of, you just got to keep moving forward. And I think that's actually what really separates the successful from the unsuccessful people, is just that dedication, that never giving up, that drive to keep improving and getting better, and thinking that one day I'm going to be able to do this or make a living at this. And again, and success is also a relative term. Some think it's getting to work for one of the big two. Some think it's getting to work on a certain title. Some think it's getting millions of dollars to sell after selling their property to a TV or movie studio, or again, all making millions and millions of dollars. There's different levels of not different levels, but different definitions of success. And I think part of the thing that you have to ask yourself while doing this is, what is that? What is success to you? Because right now, as younger, when I was younger, and starting to do this, I really wanted to work for Marvel, for DC. DC probably more than Marvel. I've always been a big DC fan. And working on Batman and Superman and doing all this stuff. As I've gotten older, I've been just wanting, I've been more interested in telling my stories, and kind of looking at guys like Mark Millar, who kind of just became his own industry. Now, he's very successful, makes, I'm sure, very good money doing that. But for me, it's just getting my story out, and hoping people like it. and if well, not even like it, I guess, just buy it. If they like it, that's again a relative thing. But I hope to just make a living at it. I don't want to be rich and famous. I just want to tell my stories and be able to support myself and or a family that will eventually be a part of my life someday. So we also kind of the thing is and that's part of the reason I like being an indie artist creator is I get to do what I want, and then there's a community of people that are supportive of that, and I think that's a great thing. I don't, need the help or the validation of a DC Comics or a Marvel Comics to feel successful. The community is just a lot of fun to be a part of as well. And if you're just starting out or whatever, or you're just don't feel you're up to snuff with other artists' work or what have you, I mean, this is the destination isn't always the goal. Sometimes the journey is part of the fun, and getting to meet people and create stuff with them, and again, be a part of a community of artists that can help you out. But we are all on this kind of same journey. It's kind of weird because we're all separate, but we're all on the same journey. And if you think of it as a timeline, we're just at different pit stops along that journey, and some are better. Again, it's not that others are better than you or you're never going to be that good. Like, I still have plenty of stuff I need to work on and stuff that I need to improve, and I'm never real happy with the final product. I'm satisfied, but I don't know if I'm ever really 100% like this is exactly what I wanted, and but it's part of the fun of it is learning how to get the results you want and learning and growing as a person, as a creator, as an artist. So hopefully some of this made sense. I'm just kind of rambling, and it's just kind of a stream of consciousness flowing from my mind. So hopefully I put something together here in this little rambled rant that made some sense to you. Anyway, looks like it's about done here, and this is the final page. So hope you guys like it. Again, check me out on Facebook or Twitter along with No Gravity Studios. Have a good one.